somewhere in the Bay of Bengal. There is a piece of land the modern world has never truly touched. It sits in the Andaman Archipelago, part of India, just a few hundred kilometers from crowded tourist beaches. Most travelers have never heard of this place existing beside. The island itself is small, roughly the size of Manhattan, shaped like a rounded triangle wrapped almost entirely in unbroken forest. From above, it looks like a green fortress, a solid canopy with no roads, no clearings, no visible structures cut into the trees. A narrow ring of white sand and turquoise reef separates that jungle from the open ocean, and that ring is often the only part anyone from outside has ever actually seen. Fishing boats sometimes pass close enough to glimpse the shoreline, but almost none of them dare to come closer than that. There are no ports, no airstrips, no cell towers. Nothing that would let anyone map what actually happens beneath that tree line. The people living here have done so for an estimated 60,000 years, making them possibly one of the last direct links to the earliest humans who ever left Africa. And the reason almost nobody knows this island's true story is simple. Getting close enough to learn it can cost you your life. In 1956, India passed a law called the Protection of Aboriginal Tribes Regulation, and North Sentinel Island fell directly under its protection. Today, Indian law bans any vessel from coming within 5 kilometers of the island's coast, and Coast Guard patrols enforce that boundary by force if necessary. The people who live there, known as the Sentinelese, have made their answer to outsiders unmistakably clear for over a century. In the 1880s, a British officer named Maurice Vidal Portman kidnapped several Sentinelese people to study them, and most of the captives died soon after from diseases they had no immunity to. For decades afterward, Indian anthropologists tried a different approach, leaving coconuts and gifts on the beach in careful, monitored visits. Even those peaceful visits were often met with arrows fired from the tree line, a message repeated again and again over the years. In 1974, a film crew making a documentary was struck by an arrow while filming from a boat just offshore, even after the devastating 2004 tsunami when a helicopter flew over to check on survivors. A lone tribesman reportedly fired an arrow up at the aircraft. Then in November 2018, an American named John Allen Chow paid local fishermen to take him close to the island at night. He paddled a kayak onto the beach alone, hoping to make contact and share his religious beliefs with the tribe. The fisherman who brought him watched from a distance, and later told investigators they saw him killed on the shore. Indian police opened a case but ultimately could not recover his body, because entering the island to search for it was against the very law meant to protect the tribe. Scientists say part of this hostility likely comes from historical trauma, since even brief contact has repeatedly brought outbreaks that killed large parts of neighboring tribes. But no outsider has ever learned their language, and no one truly knows how they see the world beyond that reef, which is exactly what keeps this island so unsettling. For nearly 3 decades, an Indian anthropologist named T.N. Pandit led some of the only tolerated visits, slowly building brief moments of calm contact. In the 1990s, his team was even able to hand coconuts directly to Sentinelese men wading into the shallows, a rare peaceful exchange caught on camera. But by 1996, Indian authorities ended all contact visits permanently, deciding that even friendly encounters posed too great a health risk to the tribe. Since then, monitoring has shifted almost entirely to distant aerial and boat patrols, checking from afar that the population still appears healthy and active. Occasional satellite images have shown small clearings and canoes on the beach, giving researchers rare glimpses without a single person setting foot on land. As of today, the exclusion zone remains firmly in place, and Indian officials have repeatedly stated there are no plans to open the island to visitors or researchers. Even flying a drone over the island or attempting to photograph it up close can lead to arrest under Indian law. Organizations advocating for uncontacted peoples continue to argue this is exactly how it should stay, calling North Sentinel one of the last truly protected societies on Earth. For now, the island remains almost exactly as it has for tens of thousands of years, and by design, that may never change. If you were offered a single hour on that beach, guaranteed safe passage in and out, would you actually take it? Tell me in the comments, would you set foot on North Sentinel Island if you truly could? Or is some isolation better left untouched? Subscribe for more places the world has chosen to leave alone, because next time, we're heading somewhere even fewer people have ever returned from.